Pavol.
With your permission. The Gemara tells us this is parasha has 60 mitzvot. 3 parashot is 60 mitzvot. First one is Mishpatim. Moshe came down from Mount Sinai. Hashem told him to tell us. Parashat Mishpatim. This parasha, Parashat Ki Tetzeh. Chachamim tell us it's a major thing. The reason for those things is because after Hashem spoke to us on Mount Sinai, we reached a certain level. And as well says we were united. And therefore the 10 Commandments were said in a singular. This is Parashat Kedoshim. As well says you have the 10 Commandments as well, but it's in plural. Since we did the golden calf and we were separated, so Hashem so-called said the 10 Commandments again, in the plural, in a little bit different way. And then after the spies and misbehavior in the desert, and Moshe told us in Parashat Ki Tetzeh 60 mitzvot again, something like similar to the 10 Commandments that was said twice, in order for us to reach a certain level. This is Parashat. Torah tells us Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu go collect all Am Yisrael, tell them be holy. Sounds from that sentence, everybody knows what holy means. Stay pure holy. But the Torah doesn't talk about this at all. First, the Torah says, fear of your parents, keep Shabbat, and other things, nothing being holy. Don't take a revenge. Don't keep in your heart anything. Don't hate your brother. Pay the worker on time. Don't put a trap in front of somebody. It's not to do with holy at all. And Torah will end this parasha also. Hashem said, you have to be holy, you have to be holy. You have to be holy. It's nothing that Hashem told us in the beginning of the parasha at least. You read the parasha about to be holy. It says, don't curse your father. So it's not to be holy. So the Torah tells us, Rabbi Akiva says, it's a very major thing. It's called after Kamocha. Simple explanation means love your brother as much as you love yourself. Rabbi Akiva said that's the main thing, and the Gemara tells us that the guy wanted to convert. He came to Hillel. He said, I would like to convert while I'm staying 1 foot, and Hillel says, no problem. After Kamocha. Sounds like it's a very important thing. Sounds very easy as well, but it's almost impossible to understand what it means. What do you mean I should love my friend as much as I love myself? What does it mean exactly? So if I buy myself a suit, I have to buy my friend a suit. If I buy myself a car, I have to buy my friend a car. What does it mean exactly? Of course, the Gemara says in one version, don't do something to your friend what you don't like people to do it to you. But it's not what Kamocha. It's a very low level. So of course I won't do it. You don't need for this sentence in the Torah. Don't do bad thing to someone. Of course I don't want to do someone. The scary part about it, it's all the mitzvot, not just after Kamocha. After Kamocha is, according to Rabbi Akiva, because the Gemara is a very major thing. So Rambam writes in his book, the person should not calculate and do his own accounting before Shana. Because you don't know how to do the accounting, says Rambam. A person, Rambam says, can come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for Shana and say, Baruch Hashem, this year was very good. Did mitzvot, hardly anything. There's some small things they didn't pay so much attention. So Rambam says, only Hashem evaluate the point of every mitzvah. Hashem put on the scale, and whatever you did, excellent. There's one thing you're missing, or Hashem, you did something you're not supposed to do, it weighs so much that whatever he did is worthless. Why it's only Kedoshim, only Hashem knows it, he won't tell no one. What's the value of the mitzvot? At least we know of the Kamocha, it's a major thing. Okay, so what does it mean exactly? How do I accomplish it? I don't know what it means exactly. So the question is, why does Hashem want me to do it? Why Hashem wants me to love everybody? Of course, but not Kamocha. I don't to love him like I love myself. Excuse me. What does Hashem want for me? What does Hashem want? So we have almost the same mitzvah. ואהבת את השם אלוקיך, משים שמע ישראל, ישודע הקדוש ברוך הוא. So the Zohar says like this. Shum Baruch says, you know, a person can pray to Hashem, doesn't help. He does the mitzvot, doesn't help. The Zohar says the reason for that is because it's especially mitzvah to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And if you don't love him, how do you expect him to give you what you want from him if you don't love him? Of course I love him. The Shum Baruch says, I'll tell you what it is. The Shema Yisrael reads like this, V'ta Hashem Elokecha. The love to Hashem has to be in a full heart, all nafshecha, even if he takes your neshama, your life, Chol Mo'odecha, anything that the Kadosh Baruch Hu so-called judges you and so-called gives you or not giving you. That's called love. Let me explain to us like this. The Gemara says, the Kadosh Baruch Hu says to a person, give me your heart. Give me your heart. What it means is, we say in Tefillah every morning, about Avraham Avinu, מצאת את לבבו נאמן לפניך. You found Avraham's heart being trusted to you. So the Mishnah Pirkei Avot says there are 4 levels that a person should reach in his lifetime. Thank you very much. First, tzaddik. Person should keep the mitzvot. There needs to be chassid. Chassid, the Gemara says, means they should try to do things for Hashem. Besides keeping the mitzvot for yourself, but do certain things for Hashem, extra things for Hashem. Then Yashar, then you should be straight, and then Ne'eman, being trusted. When Moshe Rabbeinu reached that level, it's called, Torah calls Moshe Rabbeinu, you are being trusted by Hashem. Hashem trusts you. Ne'eman b'chol beti. So Avraham Avinu, say in Tefillah, Tzat levavo ne'eman lefanecha. It says Avraham Avinu was found that his heart is being trusted by Kadosh Baruch. And actually the Torah tells us that Avraham Avinu is being called the one he loves Hashem. Avraham Ohavi. Avraham loves Hashem. How do you love Hashem? Because his heart was devoted to Hashem. All his life, he wanted to do what Hashem wants. He asked himself all the time, does Hashem appreciate what I do? Does Hashem want me to do this? He went over the board and constantly did extra things, what we call kindness, generosity, going out of his way. Just because that shows that you love Hashem. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, look, if you love Hashem and you ask him, he'll give it to you. But how do you know if you love Hashem? Just by saying you love Hashem, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, no, you don't love Hashem. Well, you love Hashem means that you have to have your heart devoted completely to HaKadosh Baruch. Of course, in our heart, he has Yetzer to Yetzirah, and the Gemara says that Avraham was able, so-called, to control his Yetzirah in his heart, and he is doing only Yetzirah Tov. So a person has to work on it to be called, so-called, that he loves Hashem and Hashem trusts him. And that's explanation. Chachamim say, it says you have to have in mind Avraham Avinu. It means Hashem is expecting you to be like Avraham Avinu. And that's Ari says, But you have after Shema Israel, this is a diving board to Shmoneh Israel. Shmoneh Israel won't work unless Shema Israel works first. It's not just, to say Shema Israel before. Everything, Shema Israel is a preparation for Shmoneh Israel. Shmoneh Israel says, Abraham, Yaakov, God, the father of Abraham. Abraham loves Hashem. Abraham loves Hashem. So in Shema Israel, you have to have this kavanah in order for you to say in Shmoneh Israel, the introduction to Hashem, you, the God of Abraham, and say, yeah, you know what Abraham is? Abraham means Hashem loves Abraham. Hashem calls Abraham trusted slave, like something like Moshe Rabbeinu, because he loves Hashem. Yitzchak Avinu gave his life to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in LeRe'echa, even though that he had the right to tell his father that it's not right, because you gave lectures all your life, that Hashem does not appreciate sacrifices of people, gave his life to Hashem. It's a whole nafshecha. It shows you love Hashem, that you ready to give. And the Zohar says, and the Ari says, that before Shmoneh Esrei, you have to accept on yourself that you want your neshama to be sacrificed to Kadosh Baruch Hu. You want to be a sacrifice to Hashem. And Ari says, a person has to feel that his neshama goes up and he's being sacrificed on the altar upstairs. This is a condition for tefillah to come up. Says the Gemara, Yaakov Avinu, that even though Laban tricked him 100 times, he never said anything to him. Never. Yaakov Avinu was not so naive that he would let Laban to trick him so many times. But says the Gemara, says that's how much you have to love Hashem. Like Yaakov Avinu says, no complaint, nothing, didn't say nothing. Never even say anything to his wives about what Laban did, unless he had to go, that he's leaving. He told his wife, listen, we're leaving because your father cheated me so many times, in order to convince them they should not say, well, why are we leaving? But between him and Laban was nothing. As the Zohar says, that one of the reasons Rachel Imenu died is because she took the Avodah Zarah and she made her father upset. That's how far it goes. You can't make anybody upset. You can't make anybody upset. The Chachamim said, look, love means something else. The Torah says, maybe the first time in the Torah it says about love, that Yitzchak loved Rivka. Information. He brought Rivka to the tent, and then the Torah says, Vayehavea, he loved Rivka. It says, what does it mean exactly? Why Hashem has to tell you this in the Torah? He loved her. If he doesn't, or he does, the Torah is not a story. So Chachamim said like this: to love somebody, it means to give somebody. If you want your friend to love you, or you want to love your friend, it's not because your friend is going to give you a present. That love is just an illusion. He doesn't love you. The only way you're going to love somebody if you keep pouring on him presents or something else that you have to give him. Then you love him. Just because I love him because I love you because he gave you, that's not love. That's nothing. It's nothing. It's going to vaporize. It's not going to vaporize if you give. And that's the Torah will start, and through the Torah you see Tanakh. It says love, love, love. When somebody gives something. When Yitzchak, so-called, gave Rivka the house, the tent, it also says love. Yaakov loved Yosef because he gave him something. Yaakov loved Rachel because he gave something, because he worked and he used to send a present and he went to work for Laban. That's why he loves her. Not because he loves her. Because he got to pay. The Ari says, you have to love the mitzvot. The Ari says, better, Ari said, don't try to chisel and to argue when you do a mitzvah. So how much does the etro cost? He says, full price. Don't ask him, listen, can I chip you? No. Because the more you give, the more you love the mitzvah. So a person in his heart, the Gemara says, that's what he has to have. He has to have a desire to give to Hashem, then he loves Hashem. If Hashem LeRe'echa, it's falls into partner. As Hashem by, it says, the Gemara says, Hashem said, give me your heart. If by doing something to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it means you love Hashem. You can't say Hashem, I love you, and then give me. Want more. You have to love Him. Love Him, Chachamim say, is only when you give Hashem something. What do you give Hashem? You get up early in the morning, you keep the mitzvot strict, you accept on yourself some restrictions. That's what you give Hashem. You're trying to do a mitzvah even if you're not so much obligated to do the mitzvah. If you're obligated, you don't give it to Hashem. Hashem doesn't care, that's for you. But to give something to Hashem, it means then you're going to love Hashem. Unless, again, the Shema Yisrael says, what did he? They tried to give Hashem everything. Abraham gave his heart to Hashem. Isaac gave his soul to Hashem. Jacob gave his methods, his behavior to Hashem. He didn't argue, he didn't insult his father-in-law. By doing this thing, it means you give it to Hashem. It's not you behave better or worse. The thermometer is, do you love Hashem or you don't love Hashem? Of course I love Him. Let's go love Hashem. You're being tested if you love Hashem only if you give to Hashem. And because Hashem doesn't care. But the reason for that is because Hashem wants to give you. And if you don't love Him, He won't give it to you. If somebody hates Hashem, Hashem doesn't give it to him. Maybe some people hate Hashem, they hate Hashem and Hashem gives them. It's another excuse. Why? To us, Hashem, because the guy did something good, and Hashem does not want him in Olam Haba, Hashem pays him. But if somebody wants to have from Hashem something, it's only if you love Hashem. And only the Kavanah in Shema Yisrael. And as Chachamim say, the same thing applies to Kamocha. Kamocha doesn't mean anything. It means you say, I love him, it means nothing. You have to be ready to give someone something that really you don't want to give it to him. I don't know if you heard the story, I'll show you the story. I don't like it so much, the story. It's printed in the book. Who am I to disagree? But, we have an opinion without having a criticism. In concentration camp was somebody that told the people, he told one person really, he called him a tzaddik, that Pesach is coming. And he's going to have a matzah. And the tzaddik asked him, would you have for me? He said, I'll try. He went out to concentration. But the camp was able to make matzah. He came back, the Gestapo caught him. Where were you? They hit him. I think he fainted, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. And then they found the matzah, they stepped on it, they crushed it. After they left him, he picked up all the crumbs, he went back to the camp. He met this tzaddik. And tzaddik asked him, so you have a matzah for me? He said, no, don't ask what happened. He told him what happened. So tzaddik said, you know what? Why don't you give it to me? The guy said, why should I? Look, it's hardly enough for one person. I can't give it to you. He said, tzaddik told me, you know what? You give me, I will eat it, and you're going to have the mitzvah. I really don't understand how it works exactly, but that's being quoted in the book. And the guy said, okay. He gave the tzaddik this matzah, tzaddik ate it, finished. I think they say 30 years later, the guy survived. The tzaddik died, I think. I don't know if he died in concentration or not, I don't remember. But he said the other guy that made the matzah lived in Israel. And he had a dream. In the dream, the tzaddik comes to him 30 years later. He said, I need the mitzvah. It means he goes over there upstairs, and I don't know, they tell him something. He needs the mitzvah of the matzah. I don't know exactly. So that guy went to one Rav, and this Rav said, I don't know how to answer this. He said, yes, no. So he go to the big Rebbe in Bnei Brak, Machnov Rebbe, Major Tzaddik, go ask him what to do. And he goes to the Rebbe, the Rebbe said, yeah, give it to him. Listen, the guy needs it, but you are still here, you can make more mitzvah. But the concept, the question of that person, should I give it the mitzvah? Somebody comes to me in a dream and asks me, mitzvah, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't give it to him? What does it mean exactly? What does it mean exactly? We have to ask her for such a thing. The Gemara tells us halacha that two people walk in the desert and one has a bottle of water, and if he'll share the water with his friend, they both will die. But he will survive if he drinks the water. So the Gemara says, the opinion of one of Chachamim says, no, you don't drink it by yourself. You share with your friend. How can you see your friend is dying in front of you? It's all after Kamocha. But Akiva says, no, Allah Chayzi said, no, it's Hashem wants you to be alive. Especially Pasuk in the Torah, you shouldn't do it. But the concept, LeRe'echa Kamocha, it means you got to give your friend in order to love him. And how much to give him? As much as you give Hashem, so between you and Hashem, you have to feel if your friend needs something, you cannot hold back from your friend. Look at another thing. You have to be ready to give him whatever he needs to survive. It doesn't mean you have to run after him and just give him whatever you have. But if he needs something, if you think, Shlomo Melech says, listen, you have to run and chase to do tzedakah. If somebody needs, you don't wait for him to come and call you, listen, I need help. If you know, it says you have to chase it. Because chasing means that Kamocha, that you love it. And that's really Kedoshim to you. That's the secret of this parsha. And I said, listen, Hashem gave us 10 commandments, 60 mitzvot Parshat Mishpatim, in order for us to reach that level, so-called what Hashem wants us to reach, that to understand Hashem is the King. Since we're in the golden calf, and we're not united anymore, says the Zohar, now you need Kamocha. I can give you 60 mitzvot. And from those 60 mitzvot, you'll be able to reach, says Rabbi Akiva, that thing that Hashem wants you to reach. By after Kamocha, maybe you reach the level that you were on Har Sinai. So it means Hashem doesn't want you after Kamocha. He doesn't need it. Actually, that really Chachamim say happened on Har Sinai. We were united. What do you mean we were united? What does it mean united? We all said together to Hashem, Naaseh v'nishma. So what does it mean exactly? What does it mean? We all said to Shema, talking about millions of people. It means we were ready after Kamocha. And now Hashem gave it to us as a mitzvah. It's an obligation to reach, to come back to Har Sinai, to have on him. And that's really what LeRe'echa says, the whole purpose of Sfirat HaOmer is V'avtacha Kamocha. It's called Yemei Adin V'Rachamim, says LeRe'echa. Hashem judges on Sfirat HaOmer. I said, what does Hashem judge you on Sfirat HaOmer? Hashem judge me Rosh Hashanah. No, Rosh Hashanah Hashem judges you what you did. But the Sfirat HaOmer, Hashem judges you on your behavior. That you should go back to Har Sinai. What do you mean? Because Shavuot. Says Shavuot, you should expect to come out of exile something like the first day of Pesach. He says, what does it mean? So listen, Pesach you came out because you came to Hashem and Hashem had mercy on you. Shavuot you come out of exile because you reach the level that you were on Har Sinai. But what happened on Har Sinai? You were united. It's V'avtacha Kamocha. Here V'avtacha Kamocha. Here you collect everybody, tell them 60 mitzvot, the punchline of V'avtacha Kamocha, in order for you to love Hashem. If you love Hashem, it says you love everybody, V'avtacha Kamocha, then you reach the level what you were on Har Sinai. So Hashem doesn't care less if you love everybody. Again, Hashem won't give you if you don't love Him, but Hashem won't give you if you don't love Him because you don't love. He says, I do love. Love means give. He says, love gives means to a person. Hashem wants you to give a person. Why? Because Hashem wants you to share with everybody. Because Hashem wants you to be united. Because Hashem wants you to reach the level of Har Sinai. So this is the job. This is Sfirat HaOmer. Kamocha, Akiva says, and let's not Hillel told this girl to convert. He says, listen after Kamocha. What does it mean exactly? It means in order for you to listen and to know the Torah, you have to reach the level that we were on Har Sinai. If you reach Kamocha, then you're able to reach what Hashem wants you to reach. So the whole thing is coming back to Har Sinai. Let's do the Rambam writes in his commentary. It's really Hashem teaches us on Rosh Hashanah. You don't know what's important, what's not important. There's certain things that he says. What important is if you want to come back to Har Sinai. The Torah doesn't tell you a story what happened on Har Sinai. It's the level Hashem expects from us to go to Har Sinai. After Kamocha says we have to try to reach a level that we want to pour on our friends whatever they need, not to wait for them to call us. And that is called you love them. If you love them, it means be united. It's the Seven Ishma. It means you reach the level of Har Sinai Shavuot. This is dua we come out of exile, come to Shalim.
Amen.